Take that. Take that. Take that. Take that. Take that. Take that.
Welcome back to 3 Point Stands podcast, where we don't claim to be experts. We just give our takes, take it or leave it. We'll be fine either way.
Subscribe.
What's good, everybody? Happy January 26th. It's been a few weeks since you've seen us. We're down one of our favorite guys, our boy, my nephew Vic, but he'll be back soon. So me and Juju are bringing you all something for your ears before the Super Bowl run begins, before this was the AFC, the NFC championship begins, and give you all updates in regards to the NFL, the NBA, and other topics, right? How you feeling today, Ju?
I'm feeling good.
You feeling good?
Man, it's crazy. I never thought, 26 days into the first year, well, not the first of the new year, but the first month of the new year, and the first month that I still be having the effort that I do right now, because it started real low, but it's been picking up. So that's why, where I'm shocked. So I'm feeling good, happy to be here more than anything. But then outside of that, we getting into, like you said, this Super Bowl run. So
it's crazy. I know you saying you got your energy up. Our first episode of the year, we were talking about New Year's resolutions. Have you been in the gym? Because I ain't been there yet.
Listen, I'm baby stepping. I've been a few times, but I told myself, I'm gonna take this from a second. I'm gonna start eating healthy. Then I'm gonna start going to the gym. Now I'm in the point where I'm about to start going twice a day. I'm at the point I'm gonna go in the morning. I'm gonna go at lunch. I'm gonna do upper body in the morning, lower body at lunch, and I'm gonna do that for a month. I don't need that much time. I just need a quick little minute, shed some of the fat. The muscle's still there. Don't get me wrong.
It's under that.
It's under that somewhere. We just gotta get to it. So shoot, I've been keeping track. I'm down 5 pounds.
Subscribe.
I hear you.
I'm up.
I hear you. I need to get on that level. These 40s is kicking my ass, man. Like, I wish I still had what you got, that energy, that determination, that, no kids that I can get up and pop up whenever I want to go to, but it's hard, me chasing them up and down the stairs is probably my best exercise. But we're going to go ahead and get into these icebreakers real quick. And my nephew found a few of them that had me dying laughing earlier. He called me talking about a few things, and one thing is for sure, hairlines is something that I am not privy to in my 40s. That's why you always see me rocking a ball cap. And the fro is growing right now, so it kind of hides a little bit. But Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco were talking about hairlines and such, and I guess Chad was talking about he still got it or whatnot, and he balled in that thing just like Shaq when he had his hairline growing, and they I guess he lost the bet and had to grow the hairline, and it was showing in the middle of his scalp or whatnot. But we got a question. I'm gonna ask Drew and see what he thinks about it, since he's in his mid to upper 20s or whatnot. I know the answer. I know the answer, but I'm gonna take it to his generation. When do you feel it's time to let go of a hairline?
See, that's a tough question, because I got a realistic answer for you, and I gotta, if I put myself in them shoes, so
Give us both.
And I'm gonna give you both. I got you. In reality, once you start to get that you ain't even getting the C cup, because the C cup is cool. It's still there. You can have a thick C cup. Jason Derulo got a thick C cup. When you starting to get them black ice fillings for half your forehead, by the time you leave the barbershop and get home and go out, it's dripping off. Yeah, it's time to let it go. Listen, it's time to let it go. And then definitely the middle ball spot. See, I think you still living if you growing hair the top middle. Once it starts getting itchy there and it's low, it's not. You gotta let it go.
Young George Jefferson.
Ooh, you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. That's why Brian, he kind of get a pass because he just staying around the line. He still get, it right here in the middle. That's all. In the middle of his top of his head.
Yeah, somewhere back here, blue.
But as somebody, I'm young. I save my hairline, man. When I go to the barbershop, I tell my barber, like, listen, I got thin corners. Don't cut back into them corners.
Subscribe.
I'm on it. We need to keep it. So as somebody who stressed the hairline, I'm gonna probably try to keep my hairline as long as it's lining up. As long as you can take clippers to that bad boy and get something looking crisp, line me up. One
thing about you, nephew, you come from your daddy's seed, and my brother-in-law, man's line was always super fresh.
Oh yeah,
and y'all, you and Wani and even Keenan, you know what I'm saying? Like he the oldest, he still got more of a lining than I do, or I had back at his age. I think what is Keenan now? 30
going on 31.
At 30, I think I started having McDonald's arches already, bro. Like my daughter had roasted me at 12. She was like, "Daddy, you got the M going on. You got an Eminem hairline." And I was like, "Who taught you how to roast?"
Because the recipe is kids. When you start having kids,
that's when you let go of the hairline.
Your hairline start going back because you got to have more brain room to think for the kid. It's like, listen, my hairline can't take up this stage because that's thoughts. We can't think about growing cells, hair follicles right there.
Man, that's when the wrinkles start coming in. So that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I think I feel like once my McDonald's arches started kicking in, because I already got a widow's peak anyway. So like, if you look at film, that's all you're gonna get right there. But nephew see it all the time. But that's
it ain't
about
that bad. It ain't that bad.
It's bad for me. So my old barber Johnny, he used to always hit me with the, like you said, with the Beijing joint and stuff like that to try to make me feel a little better. I ended up telling him like around time about 34, I'm like, Joe, stop. Just I know unless you want to just get your skill on or whatnot, but I don't need to follow. I don't need none of that stuff like that because it's gone. Like I'm already down. Once I got married. She accepted it, I was good.
You ain't hiding it from nobody.
I ain't got it.
It's here. It's here to stay. Take it.
Love it, because I'm not dripping in my pillows. She tired of doing wash the pillows.
because you want to go to the barbershop and get all this damn spray paint.
Carlos Boozer up. It's this permanent marker on this goddamn pillow. So yeah, I've been let mine go, but yeah, I agree with you. Once it's that middle set, that's the thing. Like it's full. Everything else is full.
Yeah.
So I guess.
So that's what I'm saying. You good? You got the full. You still grow thick, full hair.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the line is gonna be the line. After enough haircuts, it's gonna go back no matter what. Because barbers is pushing nowadays. So I don't even listen, man. Don't even feel bad about yourself if that's your line, because nowadays barbers is pushing. That's why I be on them. Nope. Thin corners. Don't even line it up. Just clean it. That's what you gotta tell them. Clean it. Put a mark right there.
Now push it to the limit.
So pushing it way back too, and they don't care. That's why they use the black ice. That's why I say don't black ice me, because they gonna color it in. Don't color in your mistake on me.
Yeah, leave me be. So the next, the next, or the second or the last, whichever one you call it, the next icebreaker. Mos Def was interviewed and had one of the most hilarious responses of 2024 to me, like unexpected. Like I thought, most older MCs, they usually generally give you, oh, he nice, he decent, he the politically correct type of response, right? So he was asked about Drake, and they asked him, or the interviewer asked him,
subscribe.
Is Drake hip hop? And Mos Def, I'm paraphrasing it. I wish I had the clip, but maybe post edit and I'll throw it in. Yeah. But my man said he basically is shopping mall music. He called him Target cart pushing music. Basically, he said that man's be out there with the do elevator music. Like what? Like I thought, me personally, I'll just kick it off. I feel like he is. I think hip hop, in my mind at least, in my opinion, I think hip hop is is wide. It's vast. It's all type of different music and collaborations and concepts and things of that nature. So I feel like it's grown and it's expanded from its original form. So I don't really consider him not, and I know he's very, he does have his pop moments. He has his R&B moments. He has his he might even have some K-pop in there sometimes. That international swag.
Yeah,
that
he
reggae
got a song
song
with Bad Bunny too.
Yeah,
a few songs.
He gets it cracking. So, I like him. I would put him in that urban hip hop rap field, but I guess some of the older cats like me, cats older than me, they think that they feel that hip hop is like the most depths, the Commons, Q-Tips, the guys like that are lyrical. They not really out there throwing up pop and singing in the background and things of that nature. But how do you feel about it?
Yeah, listening to what you saying, it make me think differently, and that's why I be saying, more than anything, the younger generation think a whole lot different when it comes to me. I felt like it was a lot of I don't even want to say jealousy, because I don't even want to seem like he was jealous, but like more than anything, I felt like he, not even in the sense of knowing, was critiquing his own people. To me, I feel like to say, oh, Drake is pop or he's shopping mall music, shit, I'm happy. I'm ready to hear a nigga in the mall, at the grocery store. I'm tired of hearing whoever it is they playing, because I don't know who it is. I feel like this should be looked at, praised as like, no, the hip hop, whether you want to consider him hip hop or not, but this is the culture. Right. The culture is being expanded to the shopping mall.
Absolutely.
That's a one up. That's a man. We moving. We making changes. So to me, I'm like, all right, yeah, you could get in an argument over the what's his genre. Do I think he hip hop? Yeah. You go back to the young Drake, where he started from the bottom, over, he got Forever. Really, no. Jay-Z back up in this thing was Eddie. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody know these staples. I think for him, as his career grew, he found out that, like, okay, I can't be one dimensional. And I feel like you look at Jay-Z. Jay-Z did. He was like, I can't just be one dimensional in hip hop. He started branching out and crossing over. Does it mean that he's not hip hop? No. He no, if I'm gonna be the artist that I set out to be, and the name, and all these things I say, and then anything making the art of hip hop more global and bringing in more people, you need to be able to make that elevator music. Right. It's okay to make that. Waiting for your next ding.
Gotta edit that lady music.
Yeah, so more than anything, I was just like, man, I feel like you're not looking at you so jealous. That's why I said jealous at first. You so jealous or bitter a little bit that you're not even looking like, man, hip hop and culture and our culture is making a crossover to a commercial side that is able to be seen universal. Give it to me. Yeah. Because what I'm tired of is going to white bars and hearing shit I don't know. I don't know.
Sweet Caroline.
Sweet dun. Get somebody. No, Caroline has been left. She been at this bar for how long?
Every time you go there.
Man, she stay at the bar.
She is the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel you, nephew. I feel like it was a little bit. I don't want to call it hating, but I guess in a sense it was some shade thrown there, and it was just kind of unnecessary and out the blue. I love Mos Def, I love all the cats, from the 80s, 90s, even the late 70s when hip hop first, came around. Obviously I was born in '82, but I still grew to some of that music as a kid, and even in the early '90s or whatnot. So. He in a sense he got a funny point because it is kind of like pop music is a lot of like mall music. Like I see it as like almost transitioning to saying it's kids or teenagers pop type music, so you expect to hear it in the stores or the malls or something like that. So I kind of get it, but it was kind of shady, and I feel like he, like you said, or like I said, and you capitalized on by saying that his music is universal. Like it hit anybody in any country, any genre. Everybody's listening to it. Everybody knows who Drake is around the world. So it just kind of puts hip hop or rap or whatever you want to call his particular level of music it still brings eyes to hip hop. So, and he's the best artist currently. Like, maybe, you know, people can say, you know, this guy's more lyrical, this person, but the most known right now outside of Jay-Z is Drake. And the one that's consistently putting out hits and bangers is Drake. So, you know, I feel like there was a little bit of hating and a little bit of shade. And
cue the elevator music. Cue the elevator music. Turn that on. That is my shit. Just imagine. I mean, listen, I'm still young. You're a little bit older, but just like I imagine 10, 20 years from now, I'm in the mall and I hear that, call me on my cell phone. Dun, dun. Late night when you need. You look, you already see how he is. Right. You telling me when that come on, you not in the snow pushing that hard. I'm gonna say, what Kelly is? You throwing everything in that. You don't get no hey, call me on my cell phone. TikToks right in the shopping mall.
I agree. Like, it's still gonna be bad. It's gonna be a lot of his stuff is timeless. So just like hip hop, but you know, it is what it is. We're gonna have those our old cats in my generation, the older cats. There's gonna be a hater here and there. It's gonna be somebody that throws shade or whatnot because they feel like they're miracle or whatever. But most definitely, he just like Cam when he was talking about game managers. I feel like he's earned his right to say things.
Yeah,
he still can get it. He can still get the like side eye. Really?
He's credible. He's valid.
Yeah, but you still give him the side eye.
Yeah, but it's like, it's that, I'm going to say, what's that, Russell Westbrook? You know how you do that face? Like, really, nigga?
What?
Like, come on.
Right.
For real?
Subscribe. Yeah, man, wow. So, yeah, let us know in the comments what y'all think about the Hairlines win. Should you give it up? And the second icebreaker of Most Def's comment comment to the question, is Drake hip hop? Let us know what you think about Drake. Is it hip hop? Is it pop? Is it whatever you think it is? Let us know in the comments. But we're going to get right into these sports topics. We're going to talk about the hiring going on in the NFL. Obviously, the Bears are not in the playoffs right now, which is currently going on. We're almost close to that road ending in the Super Bowl. Right now, we're going into the AFC and NFC championship games this weekend, but we've had some hiring as of late. Teams that do not exist in the playoffs, starting with our Bears, which is sad to say, but hopefully next year we change the tune and we get into the playoffs, at least a wild card. The Bears have hired an offensive coordinator finally, and it is Shane Waldron of the Seattle Seahawks. And they have hired a quarterbacks coach, which is Kerry, who is a 12-year vet of the CFL, which is the Canadian Football League. And he also played safety in the NFL. I've seen a few comments, nephew, and Twitter. Everybody's like, well, why would they hire a safety? But it pays to do research. The man was a quarterback for 12 years in the Canadian Football League. And listen to Ocho Cinco and Shannon Sharp's show. He talks about his time in the CFL and how they gets it cracking. Now, he thought he was going to get down there and eat. And he was like, they ate him up them first couple of games.
I got a guy down playing in the Canadian Football League. He said they legit.
For sure. And I think I've seen another comment where one of my guys that I follow, he said the last time we had a CFL mastermind coach, offensive coach, Tressman. I mean, you may not like him, but he did lead us to the second best offense that year. That I think the very first year he was in, yeah. So and then Denver was number one. So with Peyton Manning. So I think it's a good. Both of them are good hires. Obviously, Shane Waldron helped, and both of them actually, Shane Waldron and Kerry Wilson, in the development of Geno Smith, the reinvigoration of his career. We've seen him become a 4,000-yard passer. That was the first time ever in his career. And actually, the last time I posted on Twitter, the last time he's thrown 1,000 yards was 2014. And I think that was maybe a 2,000-yard season for him. So that's almost 10 years ago. And he comes and Shane Waldron is able to resurrect his career in 2022 as well as this year. You know, they didn't make the playoffs, but
they still look good.
They still look good. The offense looked legit. Geno Smith looked like an actual quarterback at 32 years old. I was
going to say, with Geno Smith,
right,
who many teams wouldn't look at him as a valuable quarterback.
Absolutely. And then even, I don't know if you've seen some of the games with Drew Lock, where he stepped in. And he stepped in, and I think he had a game-winning, one of the games where he had a game-winning drive. I'm surprised to be talking about Drew Lock's situation, but so I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like it was great hires on the Bears side of things. It also, I want to ask you, a lot of people are like trying to, gauge, especially when Cliff Kingsbury was interviewed, oh, that must mean we gonna draft Caleb Williams or whatnot. So with this hire, in my opinion, it does not give or show your poker hand. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts?
No, I agree. I feel like it was a good pickup, smart pickup for the Bears. Probably one of the smartest coaching changes that they've made in a while. So I would definitely give them, credit for that. And then also, I think the same. It didn't really show their hand because I do like them doing the interview with Kingsbury, because more than anything, you want to show the league, whether you take Williams or you take that first pick or not, you want to show the league that it's a threat. I'm a threat with this pick. Because then that raises your trade value of that pick. If teams are like, okay, you'll use this pick, you can now get more for that. So it did benefits us on, either way that it goes. And this coaching hire goes with it because he's proven to be a coach to work, to develop, and he's proven to be a coach to manage. So I like it because I'm like, all right, we keep Fields. I think he's proven to be a coach who can come in, see what a player and his talent has, and be able to work around it. That's Geno Smith. That's literally what he's done with Geno Smith all of this year. I think it's worked. Excellent. Last year, Geno Smith was one of the top quarterbacks in the field. This year, facing some injuries, obviously, numbers weren't as good. Different team, different, arrangements. So they didn't look as great as their offense did last year. But I'm like, no, I like this pickup for the Bears. I like how it continues to have a leverage for us, because with this coach that we have, we can do whatever it is that we choose to. And I like that.
Subscribe.
I think it was a very solid pickup, especially with the reclamation project and Geno Smith, like you said. But also, if we do end up drafting a quarterback, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, anybody, I think his offense is perfect, because it's not necessarily run happy or run heavy, but that outside zone that they're able to run up there in Seattle is similar to what Matt Eberflus might want here or has wanted here, and we already have been leading the league the last 2 years, obviously, because a lot of that is on Justin Fields and his running ability.
Yeah, he's a balanced coach.
Right. Yeah, he's very great way to put that. Like, he's very balanced. He's good in the pass. He's good in the run game. He's not, McVay, even though he studied under him, and as well as the Patriots. He's been all around. Shane Waldron, I'm speaking of, but he's got a lot of experience in different systems and different styles of playing, so he can win in different ways. So we don't have to depend on the arm of Justin or Caleb. We don't have to depend on a run game either. So I feel like it's a great hire for anybody. Whoever's going to be quarterback next year, they'll both be able to develop. And I'm excited to see how they fill out the rest of the roster. The coaching. Staff, and then obviously the roster to see who they add, like if they're going to add wide receivers. But we can get on that on another episode when we get closer to the draft. But nephew, let me ask you: were there any coaching hires that you felt were the best fits outside of our?
I think everybody already on train with the Harbaugh hire in LA. Wherever he was going to go was going to be a good fit. To be able to bring in a coach like that, especially off a college championship road to the to that victory. We coming in on a high horse, on high spirits, and just kind of ready to just get stuff going. So I definitely say that Harbaugh hire was something I was a little jealous about.
Yeah.
Personally, I was iffy. I'm like, I don't know if we get Harbaugh, how that's gonna work out in Chicago, if he even want to go to Chicago. But I know he got close ties to Chicago. But I mean, them brothers, that whole family, you get them in anywhere in your organization, it's you almost destined to do something good, do something fun. So I'm happy for the Chargers, and Herbert was my fantasy quarterback this year, and he a nice little late round sleeper quarterback. So if I could get him with a man in that offense next year, under that head coach, he might be a nice little pickup for me going in, because the next attempt last year, I got knocked off in the semifinals. Man, it was sad. Dude I played had Amari Cooper, Njoku. Them both that week. That was the
52
man.
Amari Cooper
and then Njoku almost 40. Like ain't nobody beating them.
And I had both of them in one league too, so I remember that was yeah. So for me, my best fit, and it may not be everybody else's, but I believe his name is Dave Canellis. He's the coach or the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we're talking about reclamation projects with Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield. He was kicked aside, and everybody laughed at him last year with the Carolina Panthers. He was laughed out of Cleveland, and they thought that was it. They thought, Tom Brady retired.
There's going to downfall.
Yeah, there's going to have a downfall, and there's going to probably be drafting the quarterback. He was a great quarterback for that quarterback. He comes out 4,000-yard season, and everybody's speaking about that marks a good quarterback or the next level of being good. And so he was able to come out. Obviously, he has great weapons, Mike Evans and Godwin, but he still got to throw him the ball. Still got to give him the ball. So he still got to come into an offense and produce. He had Amari Cooper, he had Odell Beckham Jr. and all these.
He played with some good receivers.
Yeah, so it's not like he hasn't played with them before, and he's actually never looked this good. Never looked at toys. Never looked at
he looked real good
decision making. So I felt like that hire by Carolina, Dave Canellis is going to be head coach in Carolina after Frank Wright is fired, after they fired their GM and things like that. I feel like that should rejuvenate the fan base and hopefully rejuvenate Bryce Young. I don't think his career is over. I don't think 1 year or that fiasco. It was kind of like 2022 Bears, and it was like
coming into a messed up situation.
Absolutely,
they literally had nobody.
Absolutely.
They shipped away their whole team the year before.
And even who they picked up, DJ Chark, the injury risk, and you don't know how much he was going to be able to give. They picked up Adam Thielen, which he's a decent, but he's 32, 33 years old at the time. Like it's over with for him. He can be serviceable, but what you need some dynamics when you got a Bryce Young. Short, and he needs to get the ball out fast. He needs to, be able to avoid pressure and things like that. So, go ahead.
No, and I don't want to cut you off, but no, I'm agreeing in a sense, and that's almost why I kind of feel bad for some of these coaches, because I feel like some of these coaches are coaching in bad situations and bad predicaments. Ron Rivera, I feel so bad for Ron Rivera because he get fired from every coaching job. And he works with excuse my language, a shit team. Ron Rivera would be the coach for a shit team and do good, decent with a shit team. And they're just like, you know what? The team's still shitty. We mid shitty, so we gonna get rid of you. Ron Rivera being fired from the Panthers, he didn't have nothing there. When he was hired there, he made something out of nothing. I mean, he had the blessing of Cam Newton, who's a freak athlete, so that's a big us. But even this year with in Washington was a threat, until mid-season when they was like, okay, we not gonna win nothing, so we might as well just clear house. But before they was clearing house, Washington was a threat. Injuries, obviously, everybody is playing with injuries, but but just kind of going off what you said, I'm like more than anything, I feel like a lot of these teams in their firings were maybe misunderstood in the sense that like you're not really giving these coaches that you hiring and you firing a good chance to do anything.
Especially not filling the roster with talent. You're not putting them in the right situation. You're not handling the cap space. You're not handling the draft from GM's standpoint. I agree. Like even with Sam Howell doing, you know, he was on pace for 5,000 yards at one point. You know, Sam Howell. Nobody really knew who he was unless he was a draft addict, and they handed him the reins. So it's like, what do you expect? You know, like I could see, like it's almost like if they waited one more year. Like I know they've given them time. I know probably Washington fans, they were used to him, so they're probably like, it's time we ready for something new, because that's the basics of a fan base. Generally, if you're not winning anything after the first few years, maybe 1 or 2 years, they ready for the new thing. The grass is green on the other side. We dealing with that with Justin. We dealing with that with Matt Eberflus and everybody wanted Jim Harbaugh, which is cool because he's a former Bear. He's very successful in the NFL. He was now successful in the NCAA with the national championship. So obviously we want to win. Eberflus is not. So I get it. But we've seen the same situation with Detroit, and not saying that it'll fall in the same way, but they gave up. Their fans were like, fire Dan Campbell, and now all of a sudden everybody has forgotten 2021 and 2022, and now all of a sudden everybody's like, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and they're the best story and third. So hopefully we can have that same type of turnaround, especially with the mass. I think we should be anywhere between 60 to 84 million in cap space next year, and we have all the draft capital in the world if we decide. Either if we decide to draft the way we're going to draft, or if we trade back either.
Either or. But that's why I like that. In a sense, that's why I like that we had Eberflus. I feel like a lot of people during the season was like, all right, get rid of him. But like you just said with Dan Campbell, he wasn't a favorite when he first got to the Lions. Lions was like, who is he, dude? He was really just looked at as a player's coach and not really a technical coach, a coach that could get them to the position that they at now. But look at what he's done so far. So do I think Eberflus is that guy? No. Do I think Eberflus can be that guy? Yeah, because I think this has a limit. If you give him a good roster, who knows what he can do. And more than anything, a lot of teams today at the coaching position, at the quarterback position, are so eager, so hungry, are just so naive, I guess, to understanding, like, you gotta let a team develop. You gotta let a culture create the field. Like, we talk about, like, I mean, I hate to highlight the Lions, like they the best team, but that's what they building. They riding off of a culture right now that was established by a coach that they believe in. So, but if you breaking this culture up every 2-3 years, whether it's a head coach culture, or if it's an offensive culture, or it's a defensive culture, it's somebody who understands being at the, I played at the collegiate level. If you get a new defensive coordinator, you get a new head coach, offensive coordinator. As a player, I'm looking at this dude like, I don't know who you are. You come in there calling the shots, and I don't know what you did on another team don't matter. Like, it's about what you come and you do here, and before you was here, don't let a team be good. Don't let a player get the feeling they sell, and you come in and you start switching. So I did like that they kept Eberflus, because I feel like now it helps us create a culture that can build. And that's why it's shocking to me that a lot of these other coaches who are known for having great cultures aren't just being hyped, aren't being brought on to staff. Like, that's mind blowing.
I mean, we perfect transition. Go ahead, talk about them.
Belichek. To me, I think that's so bizarre that Belichick does not have. He don't got one, really. His best attempt offer was the Falcons. The Falcons didn't want to hire someone. So as of right now, I'm looking like, so nobody's going to hire Belichick? Like, are we really going to sit here and act like he's not a Hall of Fame one of the greatest of all time NFL coaches, and y'all gonna let this man just walk off nothing? So like that's why I say, to my point earlier, like the league and these owners, like they just, I don't know what it is that they be thinking, they be naive, or what it is they trying to set, if they're trying to bring their own culture to these places, and maybe why a Bill Belichick isn't hired, because you know when Belichick comes, he's bringing his culture with him. The whole organization is falling into that culture, into that lineup, but it's because he knows. Why would you not bring somebody who has the answers? You've done it, you've seen it, you built it, you got it. Get that to me. If I met somebody who like, I can teach you how to make your own business today, let's go. Right. What are we waiting on? How much? What do I need? Why I need to be? And you know, what time I need to be there is my question. So man, that's bizarre to me.
Yeah, I think with Bill Belichick, it's like you said, it's that shadow of the greatness of his, you know, desire to be able to control everything top to bottom. I think at his age, as well as with his resume, the go to coaching, if you will, he comes with a lot. Like, and a lot of owners are like that. Like, you see the Jerry Jones types, and you see what's his name, Irsay in Indianapolis, and even the Davis guys. Like they after years, a lot of them have stepped back. The newest Davis son, he's not exactly like the original Al Davis or whatnot, but they like to be the persona or the face of the organization, right? So a lot of these new aged or newer owners or new GMs and things, or people in those positions, somebody like Bill Belichick is hard to work with because he's just a hard person to hear. He's going to want what he wants. He's going to get what he wants. Or he's not going to accept the position. So I think the one that surprised me, though, is Vrabel. Because I felt like the next move would have been going to the Patriots, going back to the Patriots once Bill Belichick. But I do agree. I do like that Jerry Mayo, he got hired. Like, that they even said that they had it in place. So they already had talked to the NFL. They went through all the right channels to get it done. And I really like that he got that opportunity. But I expected Vrabel to immediately be hired somewhere. Like the Titans haven't been horrible. They've been mediocre, if you will, over the last few years, especially after the dumbass trade of AJ Brown. But you know, there's an aging Derrick Henry. There's the offensive line is aging. I think what's the name? Taylor Lewan or Tyler Lewan, however you pronounce his name. Like a lot of their offensive line have gotten old and retired or with other teams. The ones that were originally blocking for Derrick Henry and those massive seasons. So, you know, I don't think a lot of that was on him. I don't think there was bad culture. I think maybe they felt the same way some of these other coach or other teams are feeling, like maybe it's just time to move on. Ron Rivera, it's time to move on. We got some new blood coming in, new GMs, new ownership, you know. So maybe, but that was my surprise. Yeah, like,
but and I even tried to think about it that way, but what steered me to think differently is because I feel like over the past couple of years, NFL teams and organizations have shown me that they just clearly have no sense. I'm not sure. I think like what I was saying, like these owners and these organizations are trying to install their own culture, you know, and their own priorities and parameters into these teams, and not letting the coach and the coaching and the team dictate what these are, because I feel like they have turned the NFL, a lot of these teams, into more of a business structured entity and not the sport that it is. Like football isn't a business that you have to make money. It's a business that you invest money, and you invest money hoping that out of love that, like, okay, if I invest money into this, it's going to pay out to be something. It's like a gamble. Right. Not like, oh, this is a business that, like, okay, I need to make money all the time and I'm checking my cash flow and I'm checking my, you know, my income. Because over the past couple of years, not only even this year with the coaching, you know, idiotic miss out, even players. Lamar Jackson was in free agency last year and teams let him walk. How? We talk about Bill Belichek when Tom Brady was leaving Patriots. He had no interest. I think he made Tampa Bay is the only interest I really remember him having. He may have had one other one, but when Tom Brady is in free agency, how is every team? I don't care who your quarterback is. I don't care who your quarterback. When Tom Brady enters free agency, how is he not getting an offer from an NFL team? It is ridiculous. Like even the running back position, I feel like has shown it the most. Nobody's wanting to pay running backs. Why? Like everybody's off of this. Oh no, we don't want to pay. And I understand with the position of the quarterback becoming a dual threat position, the importance of a running back is it has decreased because your quarterback in a lot of ways is taking at least 20 to 30% of your rushing season. So I understand it's like, okay, we don't need to pay you that much because our quarterback is going to run for 30%, 20% of these yards, but still it's like they don't want to pay these dudes. They so stuck on holding money. They so stuck on everybody abiding by this rule and these laws, and that I feel like teams is missing out on potentials in situations to really excel and become a breakout team. That's why a team like Kansas City is able to stay on the top for so many years, because or a team like the Rams is able to randomly sprout up one year and just get a Super Bowl because they like, well, all y'all saving money, we're gonna go spend some money real quick and get us a Super Bowl win. Fuck those picks. And what everybody thought, the Rams was gonna fall off. The Rams was a contending team this year. Like right back at it. Like it was, we are not too far removed from Rams being present in the playoffs, Rams playing in the Super Bowl. So like, no, like we gotta, I feel like a lot of this free agency that we've been seeing in the offseason with the NFL, and this is a conversation I want to say to later, but just comparing the NBA and the NFL to how they run their organization. I love the way the NBA run their organization. NBA got their own problems, but I love how they run their organization in the sense of highlighting their athletes, highlighting their pros, encouraging teams to encounter more, bring in more group superstars together. Like at first the NBA wasn't letting it. The teams was pushing the envelope. The NBA was like, okay, at a point in time we can't keep denying these group ups. We got to let it ride. The NFL, they be like, oh nah, Lamar, you want how much money? And then we gotta pay somebody else. Nah, we can't do it. Like, man, come on, you ain't really talking about winning it. And I guess doing it in a strategic way, so you're not just blowing money, but also in the sense it's stupid to just let great talent, great culture, great coaches sit on the sideline and just blow into thin air without making an attempt to grab it. Lamar Jackson was slept on, and his team is in the divisional finals right now.
He probably gonna be called named MVP.
MVP
for sure. Yeah, I agree. Like, I mean, people don't want to take the risk. People want to be smart and want to go through the analytics and go through the salary cap things. And there are reasons for it. But if you, like you said, just like the Rams did, they just went out, spent money. They, got Von Miller and got all these different, got Leonard Floyd and all. So like, there's ways to buy championship. That's the Lakers way, like you did. And so we'll talk about that. That's a great topic, and we'll definitely put a pin in that and get that crack. Because I know we got a lot on that.
Yeah, no, I listen. I didn't have that one in the chat.
I know, I've seen it.
But I'm waiting.
Yes,
that's a highlight moment. I got a lot for that.
Right. So one more. I just want to shout out one more, and then we can move on into the divisional matchup that just happened and talk about our favorites and surprises there. But I just want to shout out Raheem, since he spoke on the Rams. Raheem Morris, shout out to Raheem Morris getting another chance with the Falcons. That was a huge surprise when I seen that notification today.
You may get Justin Fields. Do good with him. Do good with him, nigga.
Yeah, we gonna have the Justin Fields Atlanta Falcons jerseys for sure. If he go to Atlanta, we going crazy. We gonna have the dual team jerseys, like, because it's always Bears number one, but it's something about that Vic era. That Vic era of Atlanta was just some crazy. So if if Fields go down there with Raheem and they ball out together,
Treat them right.
Treat them right. We're gonna be down there. We gonna fly down there for a game.
You know, Chicago love Atlanta. Anybody from Chicago love Atlanta,
Yeah,
so
man.
we can rock with Atlanta.
Down for the that's something for Fields. It was before my time, but you know,
I know about the freak league.
Yeah.
I want that freak league, but I know.
my sisters knew a few people.
Comment under if you know about the freak league.
Right, yeah.
Let me know.
Anyway, we're gonna keep it moving because that'll get us off the trouble. But yeah, shout out to Raheem Morris. That was a nice surprise to see him get another chance, and I think he's gonna do well down in the ATL. But we're gonna talk about some of the divisional matchups, and it was a pretty good round. Like the wild card was the wild card, you know what I'm saying? Some of that was expected. You know, I love seeing the Texans move on from the wild card, but you know,
subscribe.
The divisional round was some of the best teams and some of the most fun and to anticipate going in, but a lot of them ended in blowouts or like
Couple
unexpected things,
outcomes.
So were any of those surprises for you? Were there any of those like, what just happened?
Man, it's funny because it wasn't a surprise. I feel like really the only surprise out of the teams that's left, I had already said previously, the Lions is the team to watch. So Lions winning that game, I don't think was much as a surprise. You expected the 49ers, you expected Baltimore. I feel like a lot of people were surprised about the Bills Kansas City game and Kansas City won it. It wasn't surprising to me. I personally bet on Kansas City to win because more than anything, you don't bet against Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like that's dumb.
Your fault.
Like unless the Bills was showing me that the Bills were just a completely better team, and they didn't show me that. I mean, they in the second half of the season, they did have, you know, a great record. They did good, but all season they showed me that defensively they struggled. All season they showed me that Josh Allen and Diggs, that connection, isn't as strong as it used to be. So that dynamic and that power duo is already at a crutch. So to me, it wasn't shocking because I was like, you give Pat Mahomes a chance to win, he's going to win. And unless I saw the Bills blowing them out, I didn't think that was going to be the case. So to me, at this point, this is just about expected. Everybody expected Baltimore, San Fran. I expected Kansas City. And I'll be cheering for the Lions because I think the Lions is really a slept-on team that people are now really looking up to.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. To me, I think just to touch on your Bills point, pause. But you mentioned earlier about teams that don't seem like they want to do extra to get.
Yeah.
And I know that they recently signed Von Miller, who really didn't do much this year.
But he was coming off the injury.
But it seemed like they never do what they need to do for Josh Allen on the offensive side of the ball. We always talk every year. Everybody's like, who's going to be that other wide receiver added on the other side? Everybody's like, oh, we're going to wait on Gabe Davis to have that, especially us that play in fantasy football and wait for him.
I get him every year on my roster.
Right. You know what I'm saying? The late round pick, whatnot. Yeah. And hopefully he going to blow up because he's got Josh Allen as his quarterback, right? Yeah. So, but, you know, this offseason, there's going to be, you know, T. Higgins, there's going to be Mike Evans, who probably is going to sign back with the Bucks. But, you know, there's going to be plenty of people that's going to test the market. I think even Mike Evans is going to test the market. It's his last chance to, you know, get the runaround, get the tours and all that stuff like that. But I know he's faithful to TB, to the, not Tom Brady, but the Buccaneers. What's up, Puffy? Puffy just ran down. Sorry. So that's my thing with the Bills. Like they keep getting to these head-button matches with teams in the playoffs, especially the Chiefs, right? And they're talented enough to beat the Chiefs, but they always falter because they don't have another person on the other side of Stephon Diggs. And yes, we know Patrick Mahomes is that guy, so he can get it to anybody. He's just different. Don't matter, yeah. But to me, I feel like Josh Allen needs that other person so he can get off of constantly throwing to Stephon Diggs, even though Stephon Diggs did blow the game with that drop, that deep drop. But if you got somebody else, and I know they added Kincaid, but he's still a rookie tight end or whatnot, and I think they're trying to make him like a slot tight end type of thing. But you need somebody on the other side to really threat, to take the defensive attention off of Stephon Diggs and be able to give Josh Allen another outlet. And if they don't do that, then they're doing exactly what you said. They've given him just enough, but not everything like somebody else would. So that was the big disappointment to me for that game to not be. I mean, obviously there were different things that happened. Touchback, they should have been able to win after that or do something. But you know, Detroit Lions, like you said, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like they're a team of destiny. I feel like they're going to line it up anyway, and I'll probably have somebody coming back in the comments talking about me or use this or whatever, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's not the same old Lions, but I feel like they have a great team. They have a great thing going on. I have a few Detroit Lion podcast friends, you know, we were on with Dose of Dion, you know what I'm saying, when we gave away the tickets back in early December on the podcast. Shout out
Dion, we need you back home.
Absolutely.
The team that made it. We need you back home.
He been having the blue hair crazy on some.
Listen. And I seen they highlighted, was that Bleacher Report?
Oh yeah. He was big time. He big time now. Like we may not be able to get him. We might have to throw him some money to come back.
I know to get on the show. I'm charged.
But we had him first before Bleacher Report. So. But yeah, so Detroit, you know, if they can beat the 49ers, I think they definitely can challenge. I think Ravens is going, but you know, if they get to the Super Bowl, I think they have a chance. So, and that sucks because they are the division rival. I'm not cheering for them like you said per se, but I'm not mad or whatever if they do.
You know, at their success.
Some of their fans I respect, and I feel like they've been through a lot. And since they don't have a Super Bowl, and they always talk about, well, you only got one, and y'all don't got no 4,000 yards. You don't got a 4,000 yard passer. I'm like, but you got a Super Bowl without a 4,000 yard passer, and y'all got all these 4,000 yard passes, and y'all don't have a Super Bowl. So which one would you rather have? Anyway, that's my shit talking for right now. But you know, hopefully, you know, if they do their thing, they do their thing. But I feel like it would be a good, almost like throwback. But that's the Baltimore Ravens, their old franchise, like from the Baltimore Colts. For y'all younger folks that don't know, they was established back in 99 and 2000. What are you talking? I'm talking about the original Baltimore.
They saying this Baltimore like first time holding the divisional conference game since they was the Baltimore.
Right. So for y'all young folks, there was a Baltimore team before the Ravens. Okay,
they was having teams any goddamn where. They didn't care. They had the damn Bears in Decatur.
They showed here. So, you know, that'll be a kind of old school match, especially for some of the elders that are still alive. That would be a nice Super Bowl for the history of the NFL.
Listen, truthfully, hot take. I got Kansas City beating the Ravens. Hot take. No shade against the Ravens. I love the Ravens. I know the Ravens are playing some damn good football. And I'm not a hater. To me, as much as they having a great season and they're clearly the best team in NFL football right now, at Kansas City, I can't count them out that easy. I can't sit here and say Baltimore Ravens are gonna win just because they're having a better season. Like that, when you get to playoff football, and that's what my biggest thing is. This is Lamar's now third playoff game. And you expect him in his third to be able to defeat a Pat Mahomes. How many times did Burrow go there? He went 2 years back to back and still couldn't beat that motherfucking Pat Mahomes. So, and obviously I'm not comparing Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. That's idiotic. But I'm just saying in the level of difficulty it is to beat a Pat Mahomes and an Andy Reid-led team. That's tough. And Kansas City has proven it to me year after year, whether they had a great team from the jump or they've had a mediocre team. Because this ain't Kansas City. Kansas City was besides Juju Smith-Schuster and maybe a couple injuries, how much different is this Kansas City team really? They really have the same. And I guess if you look at it, they look at their offensive side of the ball as the weaker side, but they have the same team that they had last year, and they won a Super Bowl with this team. So I'm just thinking, like, I got to see a Baltimore. I have to be able to see Baltimore to beat a Super Bowl winning team.
Yeah.
That's not an easy yes for me. So that's why I say why I'm running with Kansas City. Because despite how good Baltimore is playing this year, Baltimore was playing last year. Obviously, Lamar got injured, so that led to a whole different end to their season.
Right.
But no, it's not enough for me. Baltimore, y'all prove it to me when y'all beat Kansas City. And if Baltimore beat Kansas City, they win in the Super Bowl. Because I think at that point they beat the better team outside of themselves between Kansas City and San Fran. San Fran is a good team too. I think San Fran. I know your boy Brandon might tune in. He might have a comment on there. Give me some shit. Brandon, I'm with the 49ers. I told you I have McCaffrey on the fantasy team. I like him. But it's San Fran. Nobody from Chicago is riding with San Fran. No offense.
I'm not riding with nobody, but I do agree. I think this is one of the better mix of teams and talents and personalities and players. Love that, you know, some of these older franchises like Detroit, Kansas City is an older franchise, you know, Baltimore Ravens is a newer one, but the city of Baltimore has, you know, had a historic teams previously with Baltimore Colts, and then obviously the San Francisco 49ers. But to me, it's just the talent all around, the youth talent, Brock Purdy and Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and Jared Goff is still young. People think that Jared is like 33, 34. He's only 28. Like, he's still, that is their franchise.
He was doing good at the Rams his first year there.
I mean, it paid off. It paid off, but to me, I would have kept it going with a but it is what it is. They got Stafford, and Stafford might get them back again too if they get that Bookaboo. He was killing. But we don't want to go too far because we're going to some other things. But that's how we do once we get the drink. You know, cups is damn near empty. We're about to get our second run after this show. But we're gonna get into some of the NBA before we head up out of here. So, moving on to the NBA side of things, we want to touch on, I guess, the Chicago Bulls. There's a little rumor or whatever that's circulating about Zach Lavine. Obviously, it's been tough, you know, for Zach going through all these years, probably the last 4 years almost, of trade rumors since he's been here. And now they're getting a little bit louder, but they're saying that, you know, there's nobody, there's no package, there's no value, there's nobody really looking to offload a bunch of talent or give a lot of picks, you know, so his price is like, people aren't really willing to give up what the Bulls might want. But recently there was a Bulls Detroit Pistons rumor that there's a discussion going on for Bojan, can't really say his last name. Bitch, whatever you want to call him. But, you know, that surrounds him and, you know, grown, obviously loud, audible grown. If I sound effect, I'll throw it in there. But, like, that's not enough. That's not going to entice any Bulls fan. But there also is, they're saying the package is around that player. But they're looking at maybe Killian Hayes coming back as a part of that package. Cade Cunningham, which I doubt. But if that's the key, then that's probably somebody you want.
Yeah, that's what we should go for.
Right. Then you got Jalen. I think his name is Jalen Ivey. There's real quick name. Move back.
Take back.
Just want to get the name correct.
Take back. Back.
Nah, but I think you was right with Ivy. They still got Isaiah Stewart. I only know him because he plays by LeBron.
Right.
Stupid ass dude.
Right. That's your cat.
Yeah. Actually, and you know, I'm a Duke fan. They got Bagley too.
Oh no, they just offloaded Bagley.
They did just offload him.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was definitely hoping we could get Bagley in that little mix up because I am sick of Vooch. His non-rebounding ass. Go. I am sick of him.
Oh man, that's foul. Like, why you don't like Vooch? I think they just
and they still got Monte Morris. And then the new rookie they just drafted.
Right.
The one of the twins.
Yo,
I like too.
I got it. You talk about
Thompson. Yeah.
So we apologize for that. That's on me for not having up. I just blanked out on the names, but I did a post about it. So it's gonna be one or more, but obviously if Cade's in there, it's probably gonna be Cade and Bojan. And maybe a second round pick, maybe a first round pick. But Cade is key. Like if you're gonna do that trade and you're gonna give up to the Pistons, it's gotta be Cade. But they also were talking about Bojan and Osura Thompson, Bojan and Jalen Duran. That's who I was trying to say at first. I think I mixed up Jalen and Jaden. So Jaden Ivey is the other one.
Yeah.
So I like Jalen Duran. I believe he's averaging 14 and 11 this year, you know, so that could be your center of the future, right? Osura Thompson, he's only averaging 8 and 6, but he's a rebound magnet as a small forward, 6'6". Yeah, he's a pretty good defender or whatever. To me, if it's not Cade and Bojan, it would have to be Bojan, Osura, and Jaden, or it's got to be three.
Because they really don't got no picks, and I feel like that's maybe their downfall and not our benefit. Right. It would be cool if we could get some picks out of that trade, but I think they owe the Knicks. They got a protected trade that they got to get a Knicks, so they can choose. But I think they got to do it within the next 2-3 years. So what? They'll have a first round and a second round that's possible. Suspect to be given given away to the Knicks. So it would have to be a package heavy trade, a player package heavy trade to be able to go through. I'm agreeing with what you were saying. I'm pro Cade Cunningham. I would love to have Cade Cunningham because he's shown to be an elite young player. Chicago that has a great group of young players. If we can add a star elite status to that to get our young players to get into that same mindset, like let's take over, let's go get it. That's what I feel like what Detroit has in their benefit, but they just really don't got nothing to go with it. They got a lot of young players, but it ain't really no real coach, no real organization. Somebody to put that together. Coaching not really where it needs to be either. The organization in general, I think they just kind of have at this point in the season, they just sending dudes out there to play. So I'm in Cunningham and Bogdanovic. I just said if we could get him, and I would damn near even shit their ass Vooch. Right. They could take Lavine and Vooch. It sound crazy. It sound idiotic. Obviously, I don't want them to do that. Get more than just Cade Cunningham. Maybe, add in a little freeway. But if we could get those two or Thompson, I love Thompson. I think he's shown to be, like you said, he a two-way player. He's not going to be a great scorer, but he's a guy that you could get. He can finish at the basket real well. He's a cutter. He's a runner. He's a mover. He has a decent shot. Whereas if he's open, I feel like he can knock it down. But you're not looking for him to take the three. And he's a great defensive player. And what he brings to us defensively is he has size with his defensive mentality. A little bit more size. He still play that guard role. He really is that 2-3. So he's not going to be able to pick up on a lot of those bigger guys where I'm looking to supplement Vooch for, where I feel like we are weak as guard those threats, those Embiids, those Jokers, being able to stay with those dudes. But he can stay with those Dame Lillards. You could put him on a Dame Lillard. You could put him on, who else are we seeing in the East? You could put him on a Jason Tatum, on a Mitchell over there in Cleveland, or players like that, which I think helps us on our defensive side of the ball. We're losing with the loss of Lonzo Ball, which Caruso being back is great, but we still struggling defensively. So it's not always, to me, I'm not always thinking of it as filling the offensive threat, because one thing I feel like the Bulls have shown us in these recent weeks is that we have scorers. We got dudes who could actually do something with the ball when it comes to that point. So if we could just get a full team surrounded by what it is we have, a full team mentality of playing basketball, and I feel like we could trade us Cunningham and Bogdanovich. Those two assets is some players that we could actually roll with to create a team. And still, I feel make a run this year. If this was something we was to do this year, obviously we're talking about something before the trade deadline. I feel like we could still make a run.
I think we're in the ninth. In the ninth, at least the last few games, and so that puts us.
Yeah, we still in the play-in. We still in the play-in.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. We still making a run towards that play-in, and then keeping DeRozan with this young crew as a vet, as a dude who like, all right, I can feed it off to them and then just go to work. I feel like DeRozan always had that mentality. He's like, I'm gonna feed it. Then when I feel like I need to go to work, I can't go to work. So I'm working. Then I'm gonna go. That's perfect.
Yeah, I like it too, and if they can get in the play-in, that gives Cade some experience, or whoever they trade over. It gives them that experience, and let's say it's not Cade, let's say it's Ivy or Durant, then Kobe can flex his leadership skills a lot more, handling the ball, because DeRozan has taken a step back when Zach is out, and Kobe is handling the ball and initiating offense, and that's looked really good. And if Vooch is still in there, and you got, you might even be able to put, Durant in at the four, sometimes. But I feel like it's got to be Cade if we're giving up the level of Zach, but I would entertain package 3 for the other guys.
Yeah, we got.
They got to find some sort of pick somehow, whether they trade for it or they, like you said, 3-way trade. But somehow they send off one of their players and somehow can get one a first back or something like that, because that's not appealing to me without Cade. But our last subject that we're gonna get into is the firing. The Bucks fired, surprisingly, because they're number 2 in the East currently, ADRIAN Griffin. And immediately replaced them with their advisor, Doc Rivers, who seems to get a job no matter what, but Mark Jackson still is jobless. But shout out Doc. I mean, was he Bellwood, Maywood, whatever, Maywood, fine, Bradley, yada yada. But he keeps getting a job, and I feel like this almost is sneaky is all hell. Like, he was the advisor, and to it was wild. That was wild. Like, he was a placekeeper. And it seems like the Bucks were excited. That first game they was dancing, but they danced anyway. So I don't know why they played that video as if they were happy to see ADRIAN going. I don't know what happened in the locker room. We'll probably have some stories that come out a little later. Maybe he was too hard on Thanos and didn't give him enough minutes, and Giannis was upset about that or whatever, because I don't see how that kid still has a fucking position, but it is here or there. I don't know how that happens. But how do you feel? You were getting in. How do you feel about this fire?
Man, it's real weird. And I'm still trying. I mean, I'm not trying, but I'm still thinking about it to this day. Is like, why? I feel like what Milwaukee has been doing and going through over the past, since they fired Bud, has been real weird. And the firing of Bud came in right after the change of ownership. I'm pretty sure last year, sometime in the middle of the season, they had some type of buyout or partial buyout of ownership, or majority buyout of ownership. And ever since then, there's just been so many changes. And I'm not sure for what. Like, you're slight of missing the NBA Finals the previous year. You capitalize that year, and that year you fire your head coach. You come into a new year with Griffin, who, when y'all hired him, everybody was like, what the hell is you doing here? But you hired him, and it was like, okay, and they're they started off they struggled a little bit, but then as soon as they start doing good and they start looking good and they getting things together, you fire him. And then you go hire Doc Rivers. So I'm like, what are you trying to do? I'm really confused.
Doc Rivers who couldn't get
the Philadelphia
Sixers anywhere.
Anywhere. This is who you go hire.
Paul.
Right. You want to hire Paul. Paul ain't thinking about coaching. He not coaching none. So it give me. I'm really lost. I really feel bad for Dame, especially, but the entire Milwaukee Bucks roster, because when the fire came out, I think a few people from the roster, a few players from the roster said that they were a little bit surprised by the fire. I think it might have been chatter, but when the team started doing good, you're like, okay, we're doing good now. We started to pick things up. We got a scheme flowing, and I think the whole reason as to why they started out struggling bad is because you have a new coaching organization. You have a new culture. You have
Dame trying to get
you got a new player, elite player, a top player that you're trying to fit into an organization and a new team. So not only did Dame had to adjust, Giannis had to adjust, Middleton had to adjust, Griffin had to adjust. The rest of the players on their roster had to adjust. So it's a lot of adjustment that you're not going to get in a week to 2 weeks. So you got to have to give this time to develop. And as soon as you gave it time to develop, as soon as it started to come together to maybe look like it was something that is beneficial or something that can work out, you're on to the next. So to me, I feel like this all looks, it seems like it's a break within management. I think this is, because I still think, I'm not sure how their management goes, so I don't want to speak too much on it, but I think it's almost still in the sense where it might be a 50-50 stake portion. Somebody may have a few extra percentages to give them a little more, word, power over what decisions are made. But I think it's a back and forth like, oh no, you see what you did, it's not working, or this is what we're fighting with. So then it's like, all right,
and
now
they want a name.
we want a name. We want a name. So it's like
experienced coach with a name.
With a name. But almost going back into that business aspect, maybe with the Bucks or like the NFL doing that. They're not really thinking of what do we need to do to have a good team. Because to me, if I'm the owner, I'm keeping Bud. That team was doing great before Dame. You give him Dame, what do you think the man is gonna do?
And they gave up when they got Dame. They pretty much gave up a ton of depth. Like that's
defense, especially. They gave up on the defense.
Gave up Drew Holiday. You gave up Grayson Allen, who was, he's a
man. Good. He played with a lot of heart.
He's a dirty defender. That's what I call him. Like he played with
a lot of heart.
I mean, he played with a lot of heart. He's a grinder. I don't like a lot of the dirty stuff he does, but he does his job well.
He's playing the league.
Decent
niggas, and I think Grayson Allen 6'3". How the hell you think? How do you think I'm gonna defend their ass? How you think I'm gonna guard John Morant? Nigga, he's jumping over my damn head.
You gotta do it.
He gotta do something. I don't blame you.
So I think you're right. Like it's a lot of stuff a lot of crazy imbalance, crazy mental imbalance that goes on in some of these teams where they overthink things, they overanalyze things, and they think they know it all. And the continuous or continuity or continuity. I'm butchering the word. Continuity is not a thing anymore, and it's really weird, especially for winning teams. Like I can see if they were like bad teams and they were firing teams, but these guys are 30. They might have been 30 and 16 at the time he was fired like that in their second inning. Come on now. So, in my opinion, I feel like it was horrible timing. I would at least let him finish the year out. Doc would have been there anyway since he's an advisor. But then you can start next year. You can, remake the roster, add some depth over the offseason, make some trades, whatever you want to do, and then bring Doc in. But Adrian the year, because it has to be something internal. It has to be something that he did. It has to be something that he bumped heads with players, or his whatever the vision of the actual coaching, whatever he said he was going to do, didn't do, or something like that. But I guess we'll have that story later on. We'll keep everybody posted.
But truthfully, I mean, and I don't mean to cut you off, but one last remark. Truthfully, I feel like what a lot of what you were just saying, what you were saying previously, the name. A lot of teams got just looking for a name. A name. I feel like the Bucks to me was an ugly winning team. They didn't have crazy names. They didn't always have a bright superstar. If you think about the Bucks, I'm not sure. I don't know if Chris Middleton was all-star voted player. He might have been a reserve.
Yeah, he's one.
He might have been a reserve.
The year they won.
Yeah, the year they won, he might have been a reserve. But outside of Giannis, he's really their only star player. I mean, that's all you
remind
really
me like a little bit better throughout
game. Middleton. So I feel like Bucks have gotten into this point where it's like they're not really trying to sell and win championships. They're trying to sell a face and the image of the team. Where it's like, okay, we need big names. We need the Doc Rivers, and we need, to bring in those, I guess, global, the global fans or the global followers.
Yeah, they're a small market. They just built a new stadium.
Yeah.
Their division up there is just really nice. Their bar district or whatever.
Oh, yeah, definitely in Milwaukee.
Nice.
And the Bucks have that area the way it is because of the way they've been playing. I remember I went down there to visit one of my close friends had his girlfriend went down. We went down there. Milwaukee was busting. They almost had me about to be at Milwaukee. Listen, I'm from Chicago.
Right.
We neighbors. Shoot. Yeah, nah. So, but yeah, it's just like I feel like everything that Milwaukee has, what they've done to succeed in the past is what they're doing now is completely contradicting.
Yeah.
I feel like what worked for them is they were that second team because they didn't have those crazy elite names. It was a team that was always hungry and they was gonna work hard for it.
And it's probably a lot of it has to do with trying to keep Giannis happy too.
Yeah.
So
obviously.
you gotta once you lose Giannis, then they back to the Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah. So and it's not like they don't have a history of great players, but a lot of their great players end up going to the Lakers, and that's probably their biggest fear, being a small market team. That's a great point that the names, them trying to create this. They got Dame, they got Giannis now, they got Doc now, so now they're trying to expand the market and be like a internationally known team in the NBA, like a Lakers, now Miami Heat, like the Knicks and all those. That their name alone can bring fans to it. So great point. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up on that note. Wonderful show. Thank you for anybody and everybody that has viewed, anybody that likes, comments, subscribes on this one. We appreciate you all for checking in with us. That is Jew. I am Ville, and we are 3 Point Stands Podcast, where we always say stand for what you believe in. Peace. Move back.